Hello all, this is John from EastCoastArmory.com. I'm here today with a project update video for the scratch-built 1/6 scale German initial production Tiger 1. Since the last video, a lot of progress has been made and the model is currently ready for painting. To start, all of the model's tool posts have been completed and have been mounted to the vehicle. All the tool posts themselves are all fabricated out of metal and are soldered together. The actual tool clamps themselves are made out of brass and they're fully functional. Once the tools are fabricated, they will be locked into these positions that you see here. Because this model is an initial production Tiger, the tool layout is different from that of your standard Tiger 1. For instance, on the later version of the Tiger 1, the jack block is positioned here next to the co-driver or the radio operator. And you also have the wire cutter or the brush cutter mounted somewhere in this position over here. Both of these tools have been moved to the rear position of the vehicle. Also different is the location of the gun cleaning kit and the tow cables. On the later production units, the Tiger has two very large tow cables mounted to the top deck of the hull. They would start here and loop their way around the grillwork and connect here again to another clamp. This version is so early that it does not have its tow cables. And instead, in their place, we have the gun cleaning rods. On the other units, the gun cleaning rods would be mounted in the center here, and on the sides of the gun cleaning rods, the clamp would also hold the cable down as well. Since this does not have the cable, it just has its positions for the three wooden telescoping cleaning rods which will be added. Moving our way to the rear, we have here a primitive type of tow cable clamp. It's just a basic threaded rod and a wing nut. And this would be used to keep the tow cable mounted in this position here. Over here we have the clamp and locking system for a crowbar. And this same setup is identical on both sides of the vehicle. It is symmetrical. Moving our way aft, this hole here is actually the mount for the antenna base, which is on hand and will be added once the vehicle is painted. On the subject of the antenna, this tube here that we have running along the rear portion of the hull is the storage tube for the antenna wire itself. You would remove the antenna from the antenna base and stow it in this large watertight canister here. As what was mentioned earlier, the tool layout for this side is symmetrical to the previous side. Another thing as of note, on this side of the Tiger 1, we have no mounts for the tank's transport cable. On later production units, the Tiger 1 had these brackets and a small thin cable that would loop around the side here of the side hull. This cable was to be used for installing and removing the tank's transport track. When the Tiger 1 was first developed, it was noted that it was too wide for transport on rail. So what was developed by the engineers was a special track that was to be used only for transport purposes. What would happen is you would remove the outer layer of road wheels here and remove the wide battle track, and the other track was a lot more narrower. It would only cover from this side of the wheel to this side of the wheel. And this is how the tank would be loaded up on railway or would be put on flatbeds. Then when they would get to the field, they would remove the transport track and reinstall the battle track with the extra road wheels reattached. And this was facilitated by that tow cable. On the back wall, we have here the mounts and the tool post for the scissors, the wire cutter scissors, which otherwise would have been mounted in the front. And as was discussed in another video, this here is the location for the jack block, which will be added with the other tools once the model is fully painted. Moving our way to the tank's turret, we have here that the tank's turret is completely completed and is all ready. Starting with the tank's gun, tank's gun is all machined out of PVC tubing and has the additions of some new EastCoastArmory.com components. The first component that we'll start with is the tank's 88mm muzzle brake. This muzzle brake here is all resin casting and is offered on EastCoastArmory.com. This muzzle brake represents the early production muzzle brake in that it has the larger profile. Later on in the Tiger I's production run, the muzzle brake was slimmer in appearance and it was absent of this large hump that you see here. Also, as of note, the kit also contains its inner baffle rings. These baffle rings themselves are a separate casting, which ensure the best possible quality in castings. Also molded into the muzzle brake is the slip ring with the wrench slits casted directly into them, as well as the locking nut. This locking nut here is just another way that the muzzle secures to the 88mm gun in the upright fashion. Moving from the gun muzzle, we have the barrel. Now the barrel is actually tapered. The Tiger I's barrel does have a slight taper to it and is not just a straight piece of tubing. Connecting the barrel to the larger barrel segment is another new component to the EC8 component product line, and it is this adapter ring here. This adapter ring here is another resin component, and it also has all of its wrench slits and groove detailing molded in. Moving back, we now go to the barrel sleeve, which is actually connected to the tank's mantlet. As of note, the barrel sleeve has these small flathead screw locking bolts that are added. These small screws are located on the top portions here of the cover, and another one directly down the center below the shroud. These here on the real Tiger I, I believe, hold a sleeve in that helps the gun's alignment with the barrel shroud. And here we go, the mounting of the barrel shroud to the gun's mantlet. On the real Tiger I, this whole unit here is one piece. It's welded over here, and then it is to this plate, and this plate is then bolted to the mantlet. The plate bolts to the mantlet via these special castle nuts, and we can see here on the model that the castle nuts are fastened in place via these lock plates. These lock plates prevent the screws from unslipping, especially from all the vibrations of the main gun firing. To get an idea on how the mantlet locks to the turret, I had to film the scene before more progress was made to the turret that is shown earlier in this video. The way the mantlet locks to the turret is via this concealed nail here. The mantlet utilizes two nails on either side of the turret. Both of these nails are then concealed by the detail resin piece that goes over it. The nails themselves are very strong and very durable. When the two nails are removed, the whole gun assembly is removed. As we can see, the whole gun assembly is quite substantial in size, and because of the weight of the gun muzzle and of the long gun, adds a lot of weight here on the end of the barrel, which will definitely cause the barrel to droop. This is why the support strings are needed. This is a common problem with German World War II AFV, typically because of their long, high-velocity guns. Moving on from the tank's gun system, the remainder of the tank's turret detailing have been added. We'll start here with the tank's turret side visor. And over here we have the tank's smoke trajectors. The smoke trajectors and the visor are located on both sides of the turret. And the parts used are all EastCoastArmory.com. The smoke trajectors themselves are very detailed. They have all their wiring detail, as well as their fastener detail, and their electrical clip detail that would be mounted over here. The detectors themselves are modeled after, or for being loaded in the loaded position, in that they have their canister casted into them. Once the model is painted, the tips here will be painted black and will be distinguishable from the rest of the trajector.